It was so nice to return to the Portland swap meet, which hasn't happened in 2 years, and it was awesome. Ran into many friends, including Eric, who runs 64 bits or less. The link will be below to this upcoming outdoor gaming event. And here I am at the swap meet before it opens. I ran into several friends, including my friend Hans here, who has an awesome YouTube channel, Seattle Retro Guy. The link is below to that as well. Great guy. And as I looked around, I just saw tons and tons of great friends, as well as many games, including rare stuff. Found some sealed Memorex video information system games. I had to film these as they're pretty uncommon. The console's even more rare, but it was nice to see these at affordable prices. There was just rare games everywhere, something for everyone. There was common games, there was cheap games, but in this video I'm going to share some of the more rare things that I came across. And it was pretty amazing, all the craziness there. There was several uncommon systems in great shape and in bundles. I found this vendor here who had a multitude of game consoles that many people seek out. At sometimes the bigger shows, consoles are kind of somewhat harder to get, but this swap meet had tons of hardware. It was great to see that, and there was console after console, in JVC XI, a Sega Saturn, several Atari Jaguar consoles, Spice GameCubes, and so you had your pick. There was more than one Vectrex there. I know there's several people out there that were looking for one, and it was just neat. The vendors were super friendly. The hardware and games, many of them in great shape. There was some high-end Nintendo stuff there, but for people looking for that, it was available. You could pick it up, you could look at it, you could test games. There was just product everywhere, and there was something for everybody. It was really just about reconnecting with friends. That was the highlight for me, is seeing people in person, talking to them, and there was lots of gaming goodness at the swap meet, and there was just PlayStation 2, Wii, N64, Wii U, Famicom, imports, you name it. It was probably at the swap meet at this mid-size show that's been happening for several years, and it's organized by Josh Hamlin of Sidequest Games. It was sponsored by Whatnot, and I'm going to get to that in a bit. But man, there was just tons of games everywhere. I really, really loved the layout. There was just something, if you were into Sega. I love Sega. I love collecting Sega. I love talking about Sega. And there was lots of Sega Saturn. There was Sega CD, even a new one. Sidequest Games had a new one with several games with it, and as well the rare controllers. Got to hang out with the Metal Jesus crew, Riggs, Metal Jesus, and Reggie. It was fun. We went out to eat, and here's Riggs' booth as he was selling his new aftermarket game, Yeah Yeah Beavis 2, as well as some other things. He had a really nice booth, and it was great to hang out with him the whole weekend. We got to talk, and it was just a fun mid-size event, and there was just something for everyone. There were so many different games. There was even a Steel Battalion controller, and this is the first run with the green buttons, and so several boxed NES games. So for people trying to still pursue their set, or maybe go after a game in particular, complete in box. As I mentioned before, box Virtual Boy. There was several Nintendo consoles complete and in great shape. And I just looked around. I found this vendor here, and this vendor had tons of kind of more cheaper and more affordable price things. As a swap meet, you're going to have deals, and there was deals galore. There was not just high-end stuff. There was games for everybody. Nice box copy of Technocop. But I'm a big Sega Genesis fan, so it was nice to see that. Paper box Aladdin in good shape, and some other Sega goodies, as well as everything Xbox, Super Nintendo, N64, N64 controller there, and just things to rummage through. That's what's kind of fun. You know, some vendors just, you know, had it set up where you could just go through things. Mr. Wright was there. He was photographing the whole event, did an amazing job. It was good to hang out with him. Good buddy of mine. Check out his channel. There also was a vendor offering custom amiibos, and so these things were tailor-made, and it was really awesome. There was a box Jaguar seat even at the show, something you do not see whatsoever. Very rare. You know, there's some things that I don't see too often. Starplex Supercharger, Atari 2600 cassette games, all complete, many sealed, Dreamcast keyboard, and the list goes on. Atari Jaguar CD copy of Myst, and you know, there was some incredibly rare games there, including this, a messed up NWC cart for Nintendo, and this was being offered by Sidequest Games. The product at the show was excellent. There was more than one Vectrex. Here's some more Vectrex items that were at the show. Nice to see that. Even a box copy of Alien vs. Predator for the Atari Jaguar. Even a color TV game 15, an early Nintendo Japanese release console, you know, kind of a Pong style console. Awesome to see that. Even look at all the NES Dogbone controllers in great shape. But the rarest thing at the event that I saw was an RDI Halcyon set of both games, including Thayer's Quest with a poster. This is from a friend who plans on putting this on eBay soon, and so on my Facebook page I plan on posting that when that happens. But here it is. I was even scared to touch it. You know, Thayer's Quest for the RDI Halcyon, by far probably one of the rarest games I've ever seen in person. And the other more common game for the RDI Halcyon, it's an incredibly rare Laserdisc based video game console that, you know, I've never seen in person. And so, but the games, and this one has its original box with manual. Incredibly rare. This is a Halcyon football, San Diego Chargers versus LA Raiders, and it was just so awesome to see. I was giddy to see this and definitely had to show some footage. By far one of the rarest games I've seen in person, and it was really neat to see that, and the vendor was kind enough to let me look at it. I definitely asked before touching it. A huge thank you to Joe Sullivan of Whatnot and Josh Hamlin of Sidequest Games. We went out to dinner and, you know, had a great time. We went to then Quarter World, and if you've never been to there in Portland, you know, it's an awesome barcade. Tons and tons of pinball machines and arcade galore from the 80s, even hybrids, weird stuff like Baby Pac-Man. But they even had new pinball machines there, including, you know, the Mandalorian. They even had the Big Lebowski. Hanging out with my good buddy Metal Jesus, and John Riggs came with us, and we just had a blast. We were playing the Pac-Man versus, playing lots of pinball, and just having a good time. It was nice to be in person, nice to catch up on old times, you know, playing some classic hoops here. You know, I lost, but I had fun filming others who were doing better than me. But for sure, having a great time and just seeing everybody having a good time and wanting things to get back to normal. It was awesome to hang out with great friends and game and seeing video games, both console and classic arcade, Ghost and Goblins. It was so awesome to see that at Quarter World. But if you haven't checked out Quarter World, it's an amazing place to go. I highly recommend doing so. Lots of fun. It's a mid-sized place, you know. Ground Control's the other one in Portland that you may want to check out for arcade machines for sure. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and it was just lots of people enjoying themselves. Lots of classics here, and overall, between the swap meet and Quarter World, I had an absolute blast. Catching up with friends, talking about good times, and looking forward to future events. I do plan on coming to the Midwest Gaming Classic. Really excited about going to that event for the first time, as well as some other events going to be announced soon. So Here are some of my pickups. I got a Neo Geo Cup 98 as well as a couple empty Sega Genesis cases for a buddy of mine looking for some cases for his Sega Genesis games. And I scored this Oculus development kit. That was the main thing I picked up at the show. Not expecting it, just came across a good deal for it and picked it up. I'd like to thank everybody I got to talk to in person, and thank you for coming to my channel and watching this video. If you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal Johnny Hancock, and you have a good day.